Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. So the pandemic has definitely affected businesses in a negative way in a lot of cases, but not book sales. Book sales are way up. And you're thinking, oh, I guess that makes sense. People are doing a lot of reading. But no, that's not really the big reason.
The hell's the reason?
The reason is...
Naughty spankings?
Naughty spankings.
Whoa.
Okay, wow.
I don't know what else you could use a book for. That escalated.
You know, seriously, if that is where your CSI mind takes you, I really need to have more conversations about what books have been done in your life. Naughty spankings.
Naughty spanking. I tried it with my wife, but she reads a Kindle, and she's like, I don't want to break it. So I was like, okay, fine.
So it's War and Peace, honey. It's a great book for naughty spankings.
Check out this awesome book I got for naughty spankings.
Okay. No, people are getting them because they want to look amazing, because they want to fill up the bookshelves behind them in their Zoom calls. Because you've noticed a lot of, especially with a lot of news folks that started doing this way back in the day, everybody had the nice bookshelves and all the fancy, celebs and whatever, and news people. Wow, they were smart. They got all these books behind them. So now people are doing that to look smart.
I know people would do that just to look smart in general for having people over, but I didn't think about the fact that now with Zoom, that's the way that people come over to your house is via video. So you do have a set room though, but it's not books, it's board games, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You have like a set backdrop for your Zoom calls.
I was actually given a nice shout out by one of our contemporaries in the business when he realized that they were real. He thought I just had a goofy backdrop, and I was like, no, those are really my board games. And he was like, dude, that's pretty impressive.
Because it does look like almost like a green screened in thing.
Yeah.
Because it is an impressive, I remember being on that call and I'm like, there's a lot of board games.
Yeah.
My backdrop was like a closet door. It wasn't very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of that, by the way, sometimes when you want to look impressive, you may not want to be like Yvette Amos. She was doing a Zoom call on the BBC, and she was being interviewed on BBC as a jobs expert. And so she's basically talking unemployment. Had no idea that on her bookshelf, she had a lot of books, but also had a very large anatomically correct love toy that is really visible. It looks like it's holding, it's like a bookend holder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks like she plays ring toss after she's done with her Zoom calls.
This is quite impressive, and that's nuts, literally.
Do you think that was she did that just as a joke? Like, let me just put it behind me, put it on the shelf just to see if anyone notices? Because why would you keep it there? Like, it doesn't seem to be like the right, I don't know. I don't have like a spot specifically for my phallic love toys personally because I don't own any. But like, I don't know if like
but you have spanking books, so you do have those. Yeah,
those are up in the extra room. But like, wouldn't you keep that somewhere other than a bookshelf?
Yeah, like a trunk 06.
Well,
or a drawer.
Yeah. And I don't know if we can blow this up or not. I only have a static picture. I don't have one on the internet. But she's got a card or a sign that says, "I'm not happy something." And that's also visible. It's like, this is a very personal part of her house. Either somebody pranked her or she decided to see if anybody would notice. Because I was thinking that maybe, wow, what if one of her kids thought this would be funny? But then again, what kids would have access to this?
Maybe she was confused when she was told that she was going to be interviewed by the BBC and she thought it meant something else.
Oh, the big, beautiful. Wow. Hey, okay.
That's my only guess.
Okay, then.
No?
That's, that could very well be.
I'm trying to find the picture online. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And then what's that sign say? And is there a towel or like it really is a very unimpressive area?
It says "Think happy thoughts."
Oh, think happy thoughts.
Should put an arrow towards that thing because that's a happy thought.
Yeah, you know what? This is
got, it looks like board games on top.
Yeah. Well, so what she play? I can't really see.
Scrawl. I don't know what scrawl is. Alienate?
Articulate?
Articulate?
Oh, okay, that's too fancy for me. That's all like word stuff. I don't think she does a lot of interviews because it doesn't look impressive. The whole way she's taken, like, you know what I mean? That's not a really good backdrop.
No.
Not at all.
Do you think about that now? Like, do you, like, guys, when you are on Zoom, do you, like, hey, because I've been fortunate enough to do a couple of Zoom interviews or guest spots on New Day Northwest. And I was like, kind of had like a moment of anxiety. I'm like, what do I have behind me? Like, I don't know what the hell. Like, we have a brand new house, so it's like, I don't really have like a cool spot. So I was like, okay, well, maybe if I do it from the kitchen, you have the whole living room behind me, which is like a decent looking view. So I went with that.
Yeah, I don't like people make comments about things in my life. That's the thing. It's like, you know what? I'm just going to do it from the board game room from now on because people go, oh, nice this, nice that. I mean, we just put something up and somebody said, well, it must be nice to be famous to have that kind of kitchen. And it's like, this is our office kitchen. This isn't my house.
Oh, that was pretty funny. Yeah. it was the radio station's kitchen and somebody was trying to make you feel bad for being well off that you afford a kitchen like that when it's not your kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I know most, most office kitchens don't look like that either. So yeah, we got a lot of kitchen.
Oh, that's what I should do is just find like some kind of a picture of like a super fancy as F backdrop.
Yeah, do it.
Like where it looks like I'm a multi-millionaire home and put that as like a green screen backdrop for me.
I like that idea. I want to get a green screen because I want to be able to show more of my games off, but because of the angle, I can't, but if I green screen it, I can make the picture as bigger as I want and then have that as my back. I might get a green screen if I'm going to be doing more of these Zoom things.
I wanted to have video running of just like something of myself in it because I thought that would just add to like the narcissism of it all. Like all of a sudden, like
that would be awesome.
New Day Northwest, there's like a video of me already on New Day Northwest. Like I just sit around at home watching myself on New Day Northwest.
I'd like that. I think that's fantastic.
They probably would have been like, hey, can you turn your TV off? That's weird.
Because it was really awesome when you had the big baby picture.
Oh, yeah, I did that because I was doing it from a parking lot, and I thought, no, people are going to be... I didn't want to deal with the headache. Like, why are you in a parking lot? I'm like, well, I'm about to just go in and grab some things at a grocery store, but I have to do this damn Zoom meeting.
Living the glam life.
So I just took a picture of Tatum and made her my backdrop, so it was just this giant Tatum behind me.
That was very disturbing.
My favorite
and
one
cute
for me so far has been when I went to go spend time with Lily, but we had a work meeting, and she was on her Zoom meeting for PE, and then all of a sudden you guys all noticed her jumping on the bed.
That was hysterical.
And we're like, what is she doing? Oh, that's her PE class. And then I had to promptly tell her, hey, stop jumping on, do it on the floor, please. And she did, but it was like, that's PE these days, so...
I have now for my Zoom like profile picture because when you don't have it on video, it'll show the profile picture. So my profile picture makes it look like I'm on Zoom. Like the picture is set up to look like as if I'm like talking on Zoom. So like,
funny.
I have like headsets on or whatever. Because sometimes I do a lot of Zoom meetings and I'm doing them while driving. And I just listen to the audio. I don't have to say anything. So I just put it on and just listen to it through my speakers. But that way, at least it looks like I'm on the Zoom call. And people think my picture's frozen or something. I don't know.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Sorry, guys. Bad Wi-Fi.
Bad Wi-Fi. I'm here. I can hear you guys just great.
I like that. That's like the old school, man, where, you paint eyes on your eyelids. That way you could go to sleep in a meeting, but it looks like you're still awake.
Because that totally works.
Yeah. Well, it worked for Curly and the Three Stooges, so it was good enough for me.
All right. So just do a green screen of Tatum walking towards you like she's coming after you in the background. I should blow it up so she looks big. Like, she got a lot bigger. She looks about your height.
Yeah, she's a growing kid. Yeah, so that's all that good baby food. So, have you ever screenshotted someone's funny facial expression when their video froze on Zoom? Turns out a lot of us have. 1 in 7 people who work from home have done that. When the screen freezes, just like that, that's why, like you said, Steve, it can very well happen. Mm-hmm. So you can just leave, my screen froze the whole time. The most common facial expressions that people screenshot are when someone's yawning, when someone's eating, when we're rolling our eyes. But a frozen video is only the third most annoying thing that happens on Zoom.
Yeah, because the frozen video thing, it always does seem like it catches you the most unflattering pose. Like either your mouth is slightly open or like your eyes are closed and you look like you're like stoned.
And it's frustrating because because you and I have been doing a lot of Zoom interviews lately because we have our big 50th coming up. And if that happens, it's so weird to talk to somebody while their face isn't moving. It's like, this is worse than actually me not being able to see them because it's like I keep looking at them and they're just like, but they're going, well, anyway, things are good. I'm like, yeah, but you're not moving. Are you okay?
Are you a ventriloquist? Because you're talking, your mouth hasn't moved.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing. But number 3 is the most annoying. That's the most annoying thing on Zoom is when your video freezes. There are 2 more things annoying than that. And we've all been Zooming enough that maybe we do have our own annoyances ourselves. You guys want to take a shot?
Just having to be on Zoom.
Number 1. No.
No?
Let me see if that's on there. Yeah, that's not it.
I think just about trying to the awkward like exit, like everyone's like bye, and then everyone's just sitting there with their mic still on, trying to click out of it, and it's always the most awkward thing.
Yeah.
I hit that leave button the minute we're acknowledging that this is over. I'm the first to go.
Oh, that's what's so great about a laptop. Yep. You just close it and you're done.
Oh, that's a good call too.
I mean, I'm so surprised that people just sitting there. It's like, okay, bye, and then zing, gone. I mean, the thing's off.
Mine is people that cannot figure out the mute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. I was on one recently, and there was a baby involved, and I was like, can you just mute your micro? And it was obvious. Like, it was obvious, and no one was saying anything, and I was just like...
Yeah, that's number 4 on the list. Or it's sort of a reverse of that. Talking for a while and then realizing you are on mute. Talking when you think you're on mute also sucks. It sucks as well. But obviously, yeah. Or having the distraction. Like a little noise will do that. And if you've got a screen where it always goes to the person talking, if you got it on that mode, then every time someone drops a pen, all of a sudden seeing Steve sitting there with his pen, and he's got this look on his face like, the F is this idiot talking about.
Why am I on? Yeah. Dude, there are times where I try and see how loud this is terrible. I'll fart while I'm at home. And I'll just see what point does my microphone pick the fart up? Oh, that's I'm trying to hit that, find that sweet spot.
When are you doing this? In our meetings?
Every time I've been on Zoom, I fart.
I'm going to start watching Steve then and just watch his facial expressions or see if he leans over a little bit. Oh, no, he always leans
when he farts.
Oh, yeah.
I know because you do this all the time.
Yeah, and I pointed towards you, Vicky.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
11 years.
And you don't think that would be if all of a sudden the boss just was like, what the hell are you doing, Steve? Because the screen goes to you. If your mic picks you up, you're the one that farted.
I'll be like, I'm sitting on a leather bar stool. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's, yeah.
I mean, it's not like as if the Zoom's going to go all of a sudden I had a camera on my rear end and it shows my butt flapping.
No, but you're still going to disrupt the meeting with a loud fart sound.
I hate these stupid Zoom things, so I'm just trying to find ways to entertain myself. I just realized that you can, go to, your video settings. And you can put on the filter that people the people that are they try and do that filter where it smooths out your skin.
Oh right, yeah.
Did you know that there's a setting on your Zoom that you can increase the smoothing of your face?
Yeah.
So I did it all the way, so it looks like I'm this weird angel fairy woman.
Oh, that's
thing.
Pretty cool.
It's there's 0 lines in your face, so you just look like you're someone just spackled fake skin on your face.
Oh, I got to try that one. I haven't gone that far.
I did all the way to 100%, thinking that it wasn't a work based one. I was like, I could do this in this one. No one's gonna get mad. It was among some friends. I'm I just wanted to see if anyone's gonna call me out on it. And no one said anything. So then I was like, crap, I should say something because now they probably think I'm this weird, insecure dude that's wants to look younger. Because it's so obvious that it's whenever you see someone post a picture on their Facebook and you're okay, you put it through the young skin filter.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what it is. And nobody said anything. I'm because I'm just trying to find ways to entertain myself. I hate Zoom meetings.
That's really what's going on here.
Right.
And we have one this afternoon. You're going to be there?
We do?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Let me check my calendar. I'll be there. I don't look at these things until after the show.
Luckily, this is one of those things where they don't really care if you're there, to see you, because it's only going to be a meeting where they'll show us a PowerPoint and the person speaking, so they're not going to come to us. But it's still nice to see everybody that's there that at least puts their, shows us they're there. I feel hey, we're seeing some of our coworkers that we haven't seen because of COVID. Steve of course, never has the picture on, so.
No.
Yeah, I never see Steve. I put mine on, and I always give a nice little backdrop. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, look at that. Noon. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
totally going to be there.
Good job, buddy. Yeah. Everyone trying to talk at the same time is the number one thing people hate on Zoom. How do you not figure out not to do that? But maybe because we're in the business. Maybe that's why we know.
Yeah.
Regular people just don't know. Yeah.
We're in the business.
Yeah.
We know how not to talk over each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
I don't know about that one. I've been in a few that people just don't know when to stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those shows. I hope it's not us. Is it us? Are you talking about us, are you?
Huh?
Oh, okay, great. Hey, what do you think was picked as the most rewatchable TV show of the past 10 years? Another list I'm probably going to hate. I'll tell you all about this at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, of course, because of COVID, people have had a lot of time on their hands, so they've been able to do a lot of TV watching. And some people have started rewatching stuff that they've already seen. So we're not talking about, movies and shows from our childhood. We're talking about recent stuff, like recent TV shows like Game of Thrones, New Girl, and someone graded these shows on their rewatchability because, there are people that go, all right, I'll watch a show again, but which one should I watch? Or maybe if you realize a show's great and rewatchable, you'll watch it for the first time.
I always tell myself I'm going to rewatch insert show here, like Seinfeld, and then I'll start and I'm like, I've already seen this. I'd rather waste my time watching something I've never seen before.
See, that's 100% opposite from me. I only watch things that I've watched a million times before.
Because you know it's going to be good? Is that why?
I guess so. I don't really know why. Movies and TV shows, for some reason I just can't really get into new shows. The only one that I got into was The Flight Attendant, and it was because of you. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Tastemaker Steve Mintz.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good show.
I know. I wouldn't recommend it if it wasn't.
Well, that's, yeah. I mean, look, every once in a while you get lucky. The broken clock is right twice a day. Yeah.
And Kelly Cuoco, you just can't go wrong with her.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So if you got HBO Max, again, if you were the one that made the mistake and thought Wonder Woman was a reason to get HBO Max, there's a lot of other reasons to get it or have it now that you have it. Lots of good shows like The Flight Attendant.
You and your propaganda against Wonder Woman 84 has got to stop.
Oh yeah, why?
Because it's a great movie, and you're hurting its numbers because you're telling people not to see it.
True. Yeah, I'm hurting its numbers. Yeah. You sound very convincing, by the way.
I like the movie.
Yeah, is it rewatchable for you?
No,
okay,
absolutely
good.
not.
Right,
why would I want to rewatch something I already watched?
Yeah, there we go. Well, they've got level shows. They go from level 1 to level 2, all the way up to level 5. Level 1 being don't even bother, and level 5 super rewatchable shows.
Okay, we got a text. I wonder if this one's on there. I think the most rewatchable show of the last 10 years, Game of Thrones, but that last season really sucked.
Ooh, no. Yeah, Game of Thrones is actually people are putting that on level 2 of rewatchability because it's hit or miss. It's slow. And that's why the last season was so bad for everybody, because once you got used to the pace and said, okay, you're taking us on a slow journey, and then to have everything so rushed as season 7 was. And again, I've talked about this guy, Ryan, that does these pitch meetings. You should watch his pitch meeting on the last season of Game of Thrones. It's really hysterical because he covers everything that everybody hated, but in a very funny way. So the Game of Thrones is level 2. Level 1, Steve, you aren't going to like any of these, I don't think.
Meaning that I'm going to be upset with them for putting them
I
that
don't
low?
think you would ever watch them.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Because level 5, these are the most rewatchable, the super, super rewatchable shows.
Okay.
Do you know the show Veep?
Yeah, it's about the vice president.
Yes. Do you know who's in it?
Yeah, what's her face?
Okay, good. Congratulations.
Is it Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
Yeah, from Seinfeld.
Is it a comedy?
It is a comedy, and some people believe it's better work than she had in Seinfeld.
Yeah, I've had zero interest in checking it out, but maybe I need to.
Me too. Even though I've heard it's a fantastic show, it's super, super rewatchable. I don't know why I don't care about this show.
You know what I think it is?
HBO Max.
Okay. I think a lot of it has to do with I know it's about a presidential figure, and I'm just, I go to television really to stay away from politics, in a sense. Even though I know it's not a political show, it seems like it's just loosely based on that kind of stuff from the reviews I've read. But I'm just like, I want a kind of an escape from, I'm inundated with political crap all the time. It's nice to watch a television show that has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on in the White House.
It makes sense to me because I'm not a zombie guy. It took a long time for me to jump on the Walking Dead show because I was like, I don't care how good it is. I don't like zombies. It's just don't like that genre. But I could see how Veep could be like that because The Walking Dead actually transcends the genre, and I really like the show. I still do kind of like the show. I'm looking forward to it when it comes back later next month.
And I say that, and now we're watching the Mr. Mayor show, which, based on my criteria, I should not watch. But I'm like, this is actually really entertaining. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I guess Tina Fey, Ted Danson, that was enough for me. I guess at least. But I checked it out. I wasn't expecting to want to like that show. But I do. Maybe I should do the same thing with Veep. Maybe I should just check it out, and maybe I'll like it the way I like Mr. Mayor, maybe even more.
And the Mr. Mayor one, it was just on in the background after, I think, a football game or something was going on that we were watching. Maybe not a football game, but something was going on, and then that was the next thing on. I wasn't even paying attention that it was on. I was just playing on my phone, and every once in a while I would start chuckling because of the thing I heard on the TV, and I'm like, the hell is this? And I'm like, this is that show.
That's how new shows are getting discovered these days.
Hey, the lead-in's important.
And actually, I think it was after a football game. I think they did run it after one of the games.
That's what I thought. Sometimes, they talk about lead-ins being important. Not everything is DVR.
Now, there's a show that you don't know that I am in love with. I love this show. And you know what? Maybe someday I will rewatch this again. Fleabag, which is on Amazon Prime. And, of course, it stars a woman who I think is one of the most talented creators of shows, actress. I mean, she's done so much. Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Okay, I think we tried watching this, and it was like I lasted a couple minutes. I was like, no.
Yeah, she breaks the fourth wall, but I think in a really cool way as you follow the character. It has a beginning and it has an end. So there's 2 seasons, and that's it. So she takes you on her journey. And I would say, Vicky, you would love this show if you'd ever start it because she's quite a broken individual. I don't mean that you as being a broken individual, but I mean...
You're making me want to see this a lot.
Yes, I mean, she's a very broken individual, but I mean, you think of like Jane and how much we love her storyline in Doom Patrol. Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Jane's journey, but in a more comedic way. Plus, it has Andrew Scott. You love him, and Moriarty.
It's one of those, like, when people, like, because you're not the only one that's been, like, raving about this show, but when anybody just, like, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this, it makes me really not want to watch it.
Yeah, I can understand that. And the other one is Poops Creek. We can't say the real word.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great show.
Yeah.
Have you watched the entire thing?
Absolutely.
Okay, because we watched the first episode and I thought it was really cool, and we just never got back around to it.
Yeah, I'm so mad at my wife.
One of those things. Why?
We watched the first episode. She hated it, so we never watched it again. I thought, but I heard good things. Next thing I know, she starts binge watching it on her own. And I'm like, I am going to take you out back and let you sit there.
Why? Why can't she just watch it on her own?
Well, because,
watch it on your own.
Because it was like our thing, and it wasn't our thing. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know if I'll ever get to something like this. Because like you, Steve, there's shows I really just want to watch with her. Like, it would have been a great show to watch with her. Then when she watched it without me, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's like our time. It's like a show that we could have both watched together.
Divorce her. I just say it's now. It's now time.
You know how difficult
it's time
it is
to end the relationship.
Do you know how difficult it is to find shows you both can watch?
It's very difficult.
That's what I was mad at her about. Not that she couldn't watch a show she wanted to, but that was a show we both could have watched.
But you both hated it.
No, she hated it. I liked it.
Oh,
but I was I didn't like it enough to watch it on my own. It was like, oh man, I was hoping this would be the winning deal.
Someone says I absolutely hate everything about politics, but I love Veep. It's hilarious and filthy.
Someday I'm going to have to do it.
Ooh, and filthy.
Yeah,
I like filthy.
Yeah, so those are the 3 level 5 shows that these folks have said are. I don't even know who these people are, but somebody just voted on this.
Those people,
yeah,
over there.
And the very rewatchable shows, the level 4 shows. New Girl was on that list, which I did like. New Girl, I fell off after season 3, I think.
Yeah, we watched a few seasons religiously, and then we just kind of got. I feel like it just after a while, it was just like I was watching the same show every week. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it was.
Okay, I think we've run out of stuff.
I think you're right. I think, after 3 seasons, after like 6 seasons of Shameless, I'm trying to go back and watch the rest of them, but I'm just like with Sarah going, they're in their 11th season. I think they just started their 11th season, and I'm like, how often can you watch a family that's dysfunctional, that's falling apart because they're poor and don't have any money and have addiction issues and all sorts of mental health issues? 11 seasons of this with their alcoholic father?
Yeah, 2020 killed it for me on that one.
Wow.
I couldn't deal with 2020 and deal with the Shameless family. I just couldn't.
And I think the Brit Show, what did the Brit Show, which it's based on, what did it last 2 or 3 seasons at most?
Well, that's like all British shows. They know when to quit.
They just do know when to 11 seasons of Frank. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
Do you guys have like a thing whenever we're trying to find a new show and we go and look and we're like, oh, I heard this is supposed to be a really good series, and if I see it has like 5 seasons, I'm like, nah, no interest. You know what I mean? Like there's a certain point where I'm like, there's just too much catching up to do, and I don't want to. I feel overwhelmed by it. Like I feel like 4 seasons is the sweet spot, but 3, anything lower than 4 seasons, I'm like, okay, I'm willing to give it a chance. If they have more than 5 seasons and I haven't watched 1 episode of that show, I'm not even going to try it.
I can appreciate that.
I was like that with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but then everyone just kept referencing it, kept making memes, everything, and I finally had to bite the bullet, and I loved it.
It's that 7
seasons? But it's
Brooklyn
so funny.
999 has. Oh, yeah, I mean,
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, yeah.
Yeah, and they've
Just
jumped
9-9.
networks too.
They only have 2 nines.
Oh, it's not. Oh,
Yes.
it's only
Yeah,
2
they're not
nines.
as cool as us.
Oh, yeah, England is 999.
Yes.
Okay. As well as, we are too.
That's why I won't watch The Office. And no matter how many cultural references and stuff, there's just way too much to watch, and I just can't get into it.
And the more time that goes by, Danny, I don't know if you'll dig it. I mean, I'm
Probably
afraid of
not.
that with shows anyway, because, The Office is getting older. That's, by the way, another level 4 show. People say it's very rewatchable. Breaking Bad, Steve, you found that out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know.
Is it rewatchable, though?
I absolutely love that show, and it's I've said, though, and I mean it, that Money Heist now is my favorite all-time series ever. It beat out Breaking Bad recently, but Breaking Bad's number 2 for me, and I don't have any interest in rewatching it, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a rewatchable show, but they're saying it is.
I mean, I might pick up on things I didn't catch the first time around, so that might be kind of fun. But like Money Heist, that show that's on Netflix, I don't know when season 5 is going to eventually be made and put on Netflix, but it's going to be a while. So I was talking to my buddy J-Mac about this too, and we were both saying how I think I want to start again and watch that entire series once I know.
Wow.
Like I want to time it so okay, season 5 comes out in March, so maybe starting in.
That says a lot. You're not a rewatcher, I don't think, are you?
No, but I love that show so much that when season 5 comes out, I want to make sure I'm fully up to speed, and I don't want to just have like the Cliff Note version.
Wow. Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec. A lot of people love Parks and Rec.
Yeah, but that's kind of like what we were talking about with Danny with The Office. Like we've gone through I think 3 seasons of Parks and Rec, and then it just got a little too I think we just got a little we just got done with it. You know what I mean? Like it's really funny and I like it, but after a while, I felt like there's no end in sight. Like, we're just going to have to keep watching and watching and watching.
And I'm going to be a total hypocrite in this one. That's one that we did recently watch the entire thing through. And I don't know why, because my girlfriend was the one that was like, it's a great show. You would love it. And so now it's one of those shows, that and Community. Those are the 2 that we put on just for mindless television.
Isn't that funny? Because The Office, some people would say The Office really led the way for Parks and Rec and Community.
You would think so, but for some reason, I don't know why, I can't get in with The Office, but for some reason, we loved Parks and Rec. So.
Also, the problem is that they've left Netflix. So what? Right? Because they're on like Peacock, is it now?
Yeah,
Peacock. So they don't transfer like what you've watched to tell you, right? Like It's like I got to now figure out which episode I finished watching. That's going to be a headache.
And if you don't pay for Peacock, it has ads in the middle.
Yeah,
forget about it.
That's tough. It's tough if you used to know ads, man. I mean, I luckily for me, I grew up in a generation, and I actually like getting on my phone while the ads are on and doing something.
Ooh, how about this person says I like to rewatch Entourage every few months or so.
Ooh, I wonder how that would be.
I haven't watched in a decade.
Exactly. I haven't revisited that show in a long time. But at some point, that also sort of, maybe the movie ruined me. I was like done with them.
The movie was great.
The movie was super fun.
I don't know what
like a long episode of Entourage.
Yeah, maybe it was the last couple of seasons and not so much the movie then.
When he was hooked on drugs, and it was dark.
Yeah. Maybe
I miss the fun days of them doing drugs and having a good time.
Yeah. That was a show that I think probably went too many seasons.
Because my wife never saw it, so I rewatched it with her. And it held up. I thought it was.
Oh, it did.
But this is many years ago that we did that.
I wonder if when you take a look at the way changing times have happened, there's so many bits of comedy. I was just talking to Vicky about that because one of the characters on the show we love is Julia. Remember Julia Swanson? Is that her name? What did I say her name was? Julia Sweeney. Remember she played the character Pat on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, wow. As I was reading her bio, I'm like, they would not be able to do that character these days.
Oh, lots of shows wouldn't be able to get away with some of the stuff that I think about even wrestling. Some of the storylines from back in the day would
it's not that long ago.
I
think of 30 to 50 years ago, you would be like, oh, that's so dated. But like 15 to 20 years ago, there's stuff people did that now you're like, you can't do. And so I wonder about shows that are that old, with comedies like you said, like Entourage. I'm afraid to go back and cringe. Like Ari might be too much for people. Like the way he was so abusive, maybe people would not get that was a joke and just not like the character at all and not think it should be on TV. It's like, that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to watch Entourage and go, have somebody judge me, be like, why are you watching this horrible man?
But who's going to know you're watching? It's like, you live in the Truman Show and people watching what you're watching?
Yeah, I don't know if you
just watch if you want to watch it.
I'm afraid. I don't want to hate the guy.
Live your life, man.
I want to have that good memory.
How about this person brought up a good one? I just recently rewatched Babysitters 2. About 100 times. It's totally rewatchable.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Only the first 5 minutes, though.
Babysitters 2 is way better than Babysitters 1.
Yeah,
I have to agree. It's like the opposite of the Terminator.
Maybe you guys can take this conversation offline. What do you think?
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Danny?
Yeah.
Let's go into my office.
Okay. That doesn't make anything sound
Isn't that how those movies start?
No, don't.
Sit on this couch, Danny.
Oh, my God, no. Okay.
What are you majoring in college?
So the theme today is what I'll pay $1,800 to wipe from my memory, and I think I'm going to do that right now. Yesterday, Steve got this one wrong, even though the Rev accidentally gave the answer away in the question.
Okay.
Sorry.
If a sheep is a canine, what farm animal is an ovine?
A rooster?
No.
Ostrich?
No.
Chicken?
No.
I missed that. I totally missed that too.
I did not even hear you say sheep. I heard canine.
I didn't either, and I said it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That would have been great if I could have caught it too.
Sometimes the answers to these questions are in the question.
Yeah, they are. Literally.
Sometimes on purpose.
Yeah. Sheep, of course, was the answer in case you missed that. Yeah, we did. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Migs at 847 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How much does bankruptcy cost?
Well, bankruptcy costs, of course, vary depending on what type of case you're filing. There's a certain amount of court costs and other out-of-pocket costs that you're going to have in any case. The filing fees in a bankruptcy case are about $300, whether you file Chapter 7 or Chapter 13. One of the things to watch out for when you're shopping for bankruptcy attorneys or looking at the different cost options is that a lot of times, especially the really cheap places, don't tell you up front about all the court costs and whatnot that you're going to have to pay in addition to the attorney fees. So make sure that you get the full picture when you're comparing prices of bankruptcy lawyers on what the attorney fees are, how much your court costs are going to be, so that you can really make a true comparison.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.